Joining me now is Congressman Adam Kinzinger, a Republican from Illinois who serves on the House Foreign Affairs Committee. I also want to ask you not just about the missile tests. Obviously, we've had this lull. We used to report on these things all the time. We haven't done that in quite a while. That's ramped up this week. But then I wanted to get your take on what Greg Palcott reported for us earlier, the second largest North Korea merchant ship now in the United States possession. I'm assuming that will get Kim Jong-un's attention.
Yeah, it better. I mean, this is, and the fact that it's public is so good because it's a massive cost in North Korea. They obviously aren't swimming in merchant ships. They try to sell their coal. They do so many violations of international law, including ship-to-ship transfers of coal, false flagging their ships, providing safe harbor to pirating. And this is a big cost to Kim Jong-un. It's the right thing to do for sure. And I definitely commend the president for doing this. And with the missile tests, you know, like these are short-range missiles, so this isn't the basically building an ICBM like we were seeing at the height of these tensions, but it is definitely Kim Jong-un trying to get attention. And, you know, I think the president's been tough, and I think he's going to continue to have to be tough to bring him back to the table.
Yeah, he might re-earn his nickname, Little Rocket Man.
Yeah, that's right.
And this comes as the Chinese are headed to are going to be in Washington today. They're trying to figure out a way to get this deal done on trade, but obviously China and North Korea, those issues, right, those two countries, they have some interests aligned. Listen to the president earlier today about China leading into this tariff deal.
We're the piggy bank that everybody steals from, including China. China rebuilt their country because of us. They couldn't have done what they're doing. I don't blame them. I blame our past leadership for allowing this to happen.
And Adam, we have, excuse me, Congressman, I should not call you Adam. Okay. We have live pictures of the Chinese delegation. They're headed into the Willard right now. Of course, they'll be meeting with U.S. counterparts from the Trump administration. Potential rise in car prices, the impact of these China tariff increases could be quite a bit, $3,700 for an imported vehicle, $1,900 for a domestic one. But the president certainly thinks the United States has the upper hand here. How about you?
Yeah, I think he's right, and hopefully we get some good news out of Europe. There's some issues with Europe and vehicles that we should find out something in a week or two on, which could be positive. But when it comes to China, this should have been done 10 or 20 years ago. The abuse of the trade system is incredible. I talk to people in my district with factories. They talk about having stuff stolen, like stories that would just curl you, and to hear it. And so I think he's doing the right thing and taking this tough stand. There's going to be a little bit of pain, but when China basically had agreed to stuff and then pulled away from the table, we're now seeing their, I think, kind of underestimated the President Trump's willingness to actually go to the mat.
However, were we asking things from China that apparently the higher-ups didn't know about, and they have laws that they would have to change, and so even if they were to get some sort of agreement, a deal, an actual tangible results could be a ways off.
Yeah, it could be, and you know, and then you'd see some reduction in tariffs. But I mean, they can pass laws way faster than we can because they just make it happen when you're President Xi.
Especially if we're comparing it to Washington. Could I ask you one last topic, and that is President Trump today blaming John Kerry about Iran and a very particular issue. Listen.
What I'd like to see with Iran, I'd like to see them call me. You know, John Kerry speaks to them a lot. John Kerry tells them not to call. That's a violation of the Logan Act. And frankly, he should be prosecuted on that. But my people don't want to do anything that's, only the Democrats do that kind of stuff.
John Kerry was saying this today. Everything President Trump said is simply wrong. End of story. He's wrong about the facts, wrong about the law, and sadly, he's been wrong about how to use diplomacy to keep America safe. Secretary Kerry helped negotiate a nuclear agreement that worked to solve an intractable problem. The world supported it then and supports it still. This coming as Iran saying that it's basically giving Europe, putting them on notice, saying you got to figure out a way to get this deal back on track.
Yeah, so first off, I have respect for Secretary Kerry and his long history. I disagree with him on a lot. He's been very wrong on Iran. He was very wrong in the deal, and now he's been very wrong in basically implying that, you know, they ought to resist the president on this. It's undermining U.S. foreign policy, even if you disagree with the president. And Iran, by the way, has made a big mistake, I think, by putting Europe on notice, because Europe would certainly choose the United States of America over Iran.
My last question for you, how worried should the United States be about Iran's capability of attacking us from a cyber perspective?
I think very worried. I think very worried also about their ability to close the Straits of Hormuz, which is the good thing about sending the carrier strike group there. And this is why we have to be on offensive in cyber and invest in cyber defense. It's extremely important. It's the next generation of fighting and one we ought to lead the world in.
All right, Congressman Adam Kinzinger of Illinois, thank you.